Hello out there, Monarchs Nation, and welcome to another installment of Monarchs Hockey. We're coming to you live from beautiful Fort McMurray, Alberta, where the temperature is freezing cold, but the hockey action will be red hot. Just waiting. They're just clearing the rink here. The girls will be entering the ice. Coming off of a big trip out here. The girls had a good time on the bus. They should be well rested and ready to go. So we will be coming at you next as the girls are ready to hit the ice here shortly.
For your U13 AA Huskies. Number 1, Madison Kennedy. 2, James Bertuzzi. 3, Emery Cusick. 5, Ashley Drescher. 7, Blake Stringer. Number 8,
And here they come with Maria Whittle leading the charge as your Monarchs take the ice.
Number 12, Alexis Martin. 13, Leah Bradbury. 17, Paige Brown. Number 18, Riley Rice. 19,
You're good. You're good there.
20, Yushala Hussein. 21, Zoe Pike. 22, Lily O. And number 33, London Borley.
All three games this weekend are going to be against the Wood Buffalo Huskies. 0-9 on the season despite some hard efforts by their team. They're looking for their first win. Monarchs with only one loss on the regular season, looking to improve their winning record. Should be an interesting game tonight. Monarchs are down a few bodies. They've been bit hard by the flu bug, missing several key players tonight, including Jenna Lungo and Avery Braggett. We'll be missing the offensive punch of those two, so we'll see how Coach Hayes juggles the lines to make up for those holes. Nice to see Remy Clark back in the lineup, though. She's ready to get going after an extended absence after getting her tonsils removed. She's well rested and ready to fire on all cylinders. Hattie Brock's back from injury for a couple games now. Already been productive and hitting the score sheet in our last game against NCI. Tallied, I think, 6 goals. So showing no ill effects from the ankle injury, which is great to see. Take a few minutes to watch the rest of the warm-up, and then we'll be getting started here in just under 3 minutes. You had him out, so I'm assuming so. Yeah, she's starting. Yeah.
whoever's doing music has to turn off the volume because we hear every text message.
Yes. Turn their notifications off. Monarchs gather for their traditional stick tap around their goaltender as they send the stray pucks back to the benches. Their pregame pep talk, sharing secrets, telling jokes, getting themselves ready to play this hockey game. Notably absent today, as I'm sure you've already discovered, Ken Braggett. We'll be missing him in the broadcast booth along with Tom Cossey, but I'll do my best to keep it between the rails for you tonight. If I lose track of where the camera is, please jump in the comments and let me know. Constructive criticism's always welcomed here. We got Maria Witholt starting between the pipes today.
Well, Jeremy, I'm going to step up and be your sidekick.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
Ken, the big wheel Braggett's is not here, so we got big shoes to fill, but we're in Fort Mac. It's minus 49 with the wind chill, and we got a water main break outside the arena, so the street is completely flooded.
The girls are actually going to be skating home.
And once again, our music man needs to turn off his notifications on the phone.
Show some respect for the anthem. And with that beautiful rendition of the national anthem, we're ready to get started here. Monarchs coming out with the Tavaroli line to start with Money Murphy and Hattie Brox. Play controlled by the Monarchs. Dumped in deep as the Monarchs go to work on the power play. Collected back to the point for Sophie Hayes. Directs it towards the net. Deflection in front. Scramble play, but it is collected by the Huskies goaltender, and we have our first stoppage in play. Good action there so far, directing those pucks to the net. Nice to see that shooting mentality earlier on in the game. Tavaroli wins the draw back to her winger, Caitlin Murphy, who takes it around the corner, passes it off to Hattie Brox behind the net, looks to center out front to Correa. Correa shoots, and it scores! Quick strike here from the Monarchs. Shot from the point from Erica Correa. Goalie stopped the first one but couldn't manage the rebound as it was tucked home by Caitlin Money Murphy for her first of the game.
Yeah, Jeremy, goaltender, mishandled that one a bit, and the puck dropped right on the goal line, and Murphy banged that one home.
Yeah, right place at the right time. You know, they say you got to be good to be lucky, and Caitlin Money Murphy is certainly that. The Auger line takes to the ice. Puck controlled by the Huskies back in their own end. Bring it into the neutral zone where it's collected by Auger, who wheels back in her own end, looking for some support. Passes a great pass up to Remy Clark, who forwards it along to Evans. Evans fires high and wide. Puck comes out to the blue line, but not out. Pumped back into the corner. Evans goes to work on the forecheck, knocking her player off the puck, but it is cleared back to the blue line for the waiting Hurtubise, who fires it to the net. It's deflected wide. Maddie Kemp in to hold the zone, but they do eventually get it out. Hurtubise is in a foot race now. Passes it back up the board. Should be an offside. Bit of a miss by the official there. That's okay as they turn back in their own zone. Auger goes back to collect in front of, or behind her own net, pardon me. Passes it up to Remy Clark, who temporarily loses it. Back to Auger. Tries the far side. Catching the Huskies on a change. Alyssa Coster there, ever the pest on the forecheck, causing havoc. Collected by Tavaroli, who tries directing it towards the net where it's blocked. Bit of a pile up here along the boards. Collected by Tavaroli as she goes to turn it back into the zone. Cuts to the middle, passes it off to Coster. Coster tries to reverse it inside, comes back to the line for Elder. She fires it on net. Bounces just at the feet of Tavaroli, who goes to work behind the net. Elder holding the zone, back to Tavaroli. Tavaroli centers, but it's deflected back behind the net. Scrum ensues. Good support by Celia Cossey, who digs it out of the pile. Comes back to the point where the waiting Elder is sidestepped by the forward for the Huskies, but Tavaroli back to support. Brings it back into the zone. Cleared briefly by the Huskies before being brought in by Elder once again. As Hattie Brox goes to chase down the puck. Back to Elder again. Her shot is blocked and sent down the ice. This may be an icing here, and yes, it is.
Let's go, Huskies!
Yeah, partner, it looks like Coach Hayes is going to be rolling 5D here and 2 centers for the start of this game, with the Monarchs being short 2 players.
Yeah, lots of ice time out there for all the girls. Hopefully they're well rested. We know they're well fed. They had their pregame snacks, should be fueled up and ready to go. But there will be a lot of hockey for some of these girls this weekend. As you mentioned, Curtis, the team is playing shorthanded, missing some key pieces. Money Murphy goes centers out in front to the waiting Auger, who shoots it just wide.
Great little pass there by Murphy out front.
Yeah, nice awareness, finding her partner there in the slot. Auger with control along the boards here. Holds off her checker, centers to Murphy. Turns and fires off the backhand, but can't connect. Auger pulls it out front, spins. Good puck possession here shown by the Monarchs, as they seem to be passing it at will in the Huskies zone. Extended zone time here. Comes out front to Correa, winds and fires just wide of the net. She's got that big shot from the point, not scared to use it. One-timer from Tavaroli, stopped by the Huskies tender as they do clear it out down the ice. This will not go for an icing, as Correa goes to her D partner Hurtubise, who looks to pass it up. Gets it up to Brox. Tried to center for Tavaroli, but it was intercepted and now brought back into the Monarch zone where Hurtubise collects. Quick pass up to Brox. Brox looks to center just behind Evans. As the puck's dumped back down into the Monarch zone, Hurtubise goes to collect behind her own net. She's caught by the forechecker for the Huskies. Ends up reversing to the boards where for the waiting Remy Clark, who brings it up the wall. Little chip and chase. Dumped back into the Monarch zone, however, but this will be an icing.
Good start here by the Monarchs. Good zone pressure, and they're looking like they're moving the puck well here.
Yeah, they've forced a few icings already here from that good forecheck, keeping the Huskies hemmed in their own zone. Only rewarded once on the score sheet so far, but they've looked dangerous in this first 5 minutes. Tavaroli wins the draw to the waiting Evans, puts it down into the corner where it's pumped up the wall, back to Kemp. Evans comes to the middle, stick check just at the last second, couldn't get rid of it in time, and here come the Huskies. 2-on-1, nice bit of passing. Unfortunately, rolls off the Husky player's stick. They still have possession here, though, as Maddie Kemp finally intercepts, makes a nice pass up to Harper Evans, who's got a bit of a break here. Winds and fires. Puck drops down in front of the Huskies goaltender, still loose. Huskies goaltender's been fighting the puck a little bit. There are some rebounds there, Curtis. If the girls can get those second opportunities, chances should be there.
Yeah, we need to go hard to the net here. We've put a lot of pucks on net so far. We'll have some more going in here.
I agree. And just as I say that, the Huskies goaltender makes a nice glove save to get the stoppage in play. Auger wins the draw, comes out briefly as the Monarchs will have to tag up. They do so and get back to work. Correa goes back, spins away, neatly avoids the check. Sophie Hayes dances over in support, skates it around behind her own net, plays it up the wall to Cossey, just off her sticking out. She intercepts, however, on the attempted entry. Bit of back and forth in the neutral zone here. Nobody maintaining too much possession. A bit of whack puck happening, but Sophie Hayes dances back to settle things down. Nice outlet pass to Cossey. He's got some room. Passes it up to Coster. Intercepted and sent back down into the Monarch zone, but the defense are there to stand her up at the blue line. Coster's away now, one player to beat, using him as a screen. Nice save by the goaltender. As they're able, the defenseman's able to clear the puck just in time. Now Maddie Kemp will dance into the zone, stops up, looking for support back into the slot for Tavaroli, but it misses her stick. Hurtubise keeps it in on the blue line. Good battle ensuing behind the net with Tavaroli and the defenseman for the Huskies. However, it comes out to the line and out through the legs of Hurtubise. Now there's a board battle here with Campo. She'll give some ground and regroup. Nice backhand pass to the waiting Murphy on the far wall. Tavaroli collects, looking for Brox. Eventually finds her, but rolls off her stick, but she manages to chip it past the defenseman. Centers to Murphy, who loses the puck briefly in the corner, and the puck skates out. Hurtubise passes over to Elder, up to Auger now, who rolls it down into the near corner. Huskies are able to clear it out and head off for a change as Hayes goes back to collect. Stops up short, blows a tire, unfortunately, causing a brief turnover here. Let's see if they can capitalize. But no, Elder's there in support. As the puck's dumped into the far corner, Harper Evans now tries to clear, can't do so. First shot on net for the Huskies is saved by the blocker of Maria Witholt. And now Auger turns it up ice, looking to pick up speed. She's got a lane. Whoa. That far side was open and Addie saw it, but a nice save by the goaltender, flashing the leather, keeping the goals 1-0.
Yeah, I think we've learned pretty quick here. You don't want to shoot that glove side on this Husky goaltender. That's about 4 or 5 saves now on that side of the
On
net.
that last one, I think she was almost daring her to shoot it there with how far over to the one side she was. But to her credit, she shut the door with that glove. Correa goes back, pumps it into the corner, back up the wall, back to Correa, holding the line, centers to the waiting Coster, always mucking it up in the crease, but it goes off the goalie and into the corner. Now back up to the blue line where Correa dumps it back into the corner. Now it'll come to the near side where Hurtubise skates back. She'll have to hustle as the Huskies forechecker coming in hard. Pulls a tire in behind the net. Does eventually fall, but Correa's there to help collect. Up to Cossey, but off her stick and back into the zone. Cossey with it again here. Brings it up. Nice bit of stick handling there. Dances her way in. Looking to center. Just rolls through the crease, but nobody was home on the receiving end. Rung around the boards. Picked up by the Huskies winger. Now trying to reset here behind her own net. Picking up speed. Head up. Good stick there by Cossey to intercept that. She goes to work on the forecheck. Coster dances in. Shot blocked. Bit of a scrum happening in front of the Huskies net there with Addie Auger taking her man down. Maddie Kemp now tests the left side. Deflected in behind the net. Cleared out to the Monarchs blue line will be Sophie Hayes. Goes D to Kemp, just missing her, but does have Auger to collect. Batted back down into the neutral zone where Kemp will catch it once more, looking for Murphy. And unfortunately, she's just a step offside.
Well, partner, I think the Monarchs are still shaking off the bus legs here a bit. Got to clean up the breakout a little bit. We're having the D hit the wingers right on the tape, but we're not getting clean exits from the zone.
Yeah, the energy is there, but the execution still a little bit lacking. So we'll see if they can clean that up a bit, keep up that pace, but just see if we can connect on some of those zone exits, as you said. Here goes Brox, dancing in on the left-hand side. Side steps, looks like she's tripped, but no call coming. Hayes takes it and fires right into the belly of the goaltender. Sat there in the crease momentarily. No quick whistles here in Fort McMurray, which we like. Unfortunately, they do find it eventually and whistle it down. Monarchs have certainly had their chances. We've seen a couple games like this year so far where we're pumping shots on net, but just not getting rewarded. But you got to feel one's coming here soon. Hayes turns and fires, and there it is. I'm not a prophet, but once in a while I get it right. I called it, and there you have it.
Yeah, the old 7-foot knuckle puck dropped right over the goalie's shoulder and top corner.
Yep. No gold at the end of that rainbow, but there was a goal. As it's 2-0 now for your Monarchs. Tavaroli with a rare loss in the face-off dot as the Huskies look to clear it out. Tavaroli steals it back up to Evans. Evans tries the far side for Remy Clark. She's catching up to the play. Managed to hold the zone. Bit of a blind spot in that corner, guys. Sorry about that. Huskies clear. One-on-one battle, but Kemp using good body position. Manages to clear it out. Nice pass up the middle to the streaking Tavaroli. She's got Evans wide. Hauled down again, no call. Bodies are flying everywhere. As the Huskies collected in the near corner. Send it up to Hurtubise, who directs it towards the net. deflected back in towards the goaltender by her own defenseman, and she sweeps up that puck for another face-off.
Let's go, Huskies!
Second goal.
Scoot this way because I can't see that corner. Just couldn't see that corner. Here we go. Puck squirts out. Sophie Hayes comes back to collect it. Patiently waits. Deflected, however. Rolling back on Maria, who calmly collects it and sets the table for a face-off here. Auger in to take the draw.
His pocket.
Hayes collects it behind her own net, passes it, chips off the wall to the waiting Coster. Misses her, but it's on to Kossi, who's away. Gremlin reached up and bit her as she crossed the ringette line, but she pops back to her feet. Centers out front for Coster, and she wires it home! Beautiful second effort for Kossi to break into the zone, get back up, and find Coster in the slot, and she makes no mistake for your third goal of the game.
Well, I gotta admit there, partner, I missed the entire goal. I was accepting a gift from Mr. Travis Kemp, and yeah, I got distracted. What happened?
Beautiful play. Kossi took it in, collected behind the net, passed it out front of Coster, and she wired one short side for the goal.
Beauty.
Hurtaby's up to Brox. Brox tries chipping it up the wall. Hurtaby's in for support, circles back. Correa then to support. Passes it up to Murphy, can't dig it out of her skates. As the Huskies go to bring it back in, put it down into the corner. Correa bounces it off her own net to the waiting Murphy, who brings it up the boards. Centers for Brox, who chips it forwards, dumped back into the zone by the Huskies defenseman. Tavaroli joins the fray, manages to bump it loose to Brox. Brox out to Murphy, can't get a handle to shoot. Hurtaby's winds up and fires, directed just to the corner by the Huskies netminder. Looks like we might have our first penalty of the game here, and it will be a trip.
Well, I was hoping we were gonna say we had a whole period with no penalties, but that was a hard-working dig for the puck there, and we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take those. We Monarchs seem to thrive on the penalty kill. It's been a big positive area for the team this year, and it's needed to be because they do tend to find themselves in the box a lot. We'll see what they can get done here on this penalty kill. Remy Clark in to take the draw. Won by the Huskies. Go D to D. Big slap shot directed to the corner by Maria. Put right back on net from in behind, and she smartly covers it up, and we'll get another face-off here just to her left. Puck came out at a bit of an unexpected angle there, but she had her eye on it, collected, and got the face-off. Remy Clark wins the draw back to Hurtaby's, who looks to stop up. Uses the net as a shield, passes it back to Remy, but off her stick. Dangerous shot through traffic, just deflected in front of Witholt. Huskies starting to generate some offense here off of this power play. Seem to have the Monarchs hemmed in a little bit. Still can't clear it. Got it to the blue line, but not out. Correa goes, spins away. She's got an open lane. They opt to pass it out rather than ice it, trying to maintain that possession, but it's taken off the stick of Remy Clark and put down. We'll be coming back down into the Monarchs territory here. Bit of a odd play there, as bit of a pick play on the entry led to a nice open shot for the streaking forward, but Maria Witholt up to the task. Her first real dangerous chance there, Curtis.
Yeah, sneaky little shot there by 21. Tried to go short side, and Maria squeezed it under her arm.
Yeah, she's looking solid as ever in there. Something's up with the score clock here. Getting some clarity.
Let's go, Huskies!
I think they're just trying to determine when the penalty will come off. Here comes Cossey, assisted on the last goal. Dances in short-handed, centering for Coster, who will now try and chase it down. Cossey back on the puck. Puck squirts out dangerously out front, but cleared away by the defense. Two tenacious forecheckers in Cossey and Coster there can cause a lot of grief for the defense of opposing teams, and they're doing that on the penalty kill here. Coster dances through traffic, directing it towards the net. Smartly back up to the point, where it's directed towards the net by Sophie. Puck comes out of the corner. Coster again, first to it. Looking to center out to the slot. Nobody there. Correa holds the line. It's kicked out. And Sophie Hayes will have to come back to collect. She's got some time. Calmly passes it over to Correa, allowing for reinforcements to come back as the penalty to Brox expires and she rejoins her teammates back for some 5-on-5 hockey. Puck's been batted around here in the neutral zone, comes back to the blue line for the Huskies where they dump it in. That will be an icing as it was untouched. So the Monarchs were tested early in that penalty kill where hemmed in their own end, Maria faced a few shots, but for the second half of it, we're able to play most of it in the Huskies' end, which is what you want to do on the penalty kill. Auger in to take the draw. Scramble play, won by Auger with the assist of Murphy. Passes it back to Hurtubise. She's got some space and time, although not that much space and time, and it is taken away by the forward for the Huskies, who now brings it in across the zone. She's tracked down by Auger, who takes her off the puck, allowing Maddie Kemp to collect. She's looking to get it off her backhand, puts it up the wall to the waiting Murphy, who slides it over to Brox in a foot race to the corner. Hurtubise holds the line, directs it towards the net. Comes back up the wall to Hurtubise, slides it across, tries the other side, where it's brought out by the Huskies defenseman, who she turns back to reset, being tracked now by Brox. Hurtubise jumps in, knocks it back inside, but Brox was still offside. Now it comes back into the zone where it's collected by Elder. Loses the puck briefly, but regains it, gets it up to Evans, now to Tavaroli. Tavaroli dances in along the far boards, trips over the stick of the Huskies player, but still manages to get it into the corner. Hayes now is chopped down, and that will be the first penalty to the home side Huskies. Looks like it'll be a tripping call once again.
Yeah, good call there by the ref. Errant stick where it shouldn't be, and Monarchs go to the power play, which they've been working on here for the last week, pretty heavy in practice.
Yeah, we'll look to see to put some of those lessons to good use here, as they'll get a chance to test some of these new systems they've been working on in practice. Tavaroli in to take the draw. Ties up her man where it's collected by Elder as it sits there. Passed by Elder around behind the net to Tavaroli waiting on the far side. Now to Hayes. Hayes dances the line, but it's chipped out briefly. Elder goes back, collects, comes across to the waiting Evans now. Directs it towards the net, but it is deflected. Now Clark will come in, try and push it up the wall. Kicks it up with her skate, but it's caught by the defenseman and put around the corner. Elder hustling to get it, holds the line. Clark's got it again, looks to center, centers to Evans. Evans can't get the shot away. She was tied up by the defenseman for the Huskies, and they eventually clear it down the ice. Elder now backhands it up to Remy Clark. Clark to the red line, where it's collected by Auger. She's in 1-on-4. Undaunted, holds on to the puck. Spins back, looking for support, gets it in the form of Celia Cossey, who directs it towards the net. Big rebound here. Collected by the Huskies goaltender there. Thought we might have one. Puck was bouncing around through the slot. But the Huskies goaltender able to find it in the melee for a stoppage in play. Addie with a nice clean win, back to Correa. She pumps it up the wall into the corner. Comes back to Correa. She's got time and space, goes over across to Cossey for the cross seam. That far side was open as Auger was taken down in front of the own net. Hurtubise goes back to collect, passes it back to Cossey, waiting for Auger to clear the zone. She might have been nicked up on that play. Coster in, goes back to Hurtubise. Hurtubise turns and fires. Rebound was there. Tavaroli got there, but just a second late.
Keep going, keep going!
Hurtubise goes back to collect to Cossey, turns and fires it up. Intercepted briefly in the neutral zone, put back down to Hurtubise. She's being pestered by the forechecker for the Huskies, but able to get it over to Kemp. Kemp up to Coster. Coster now over to Tavaroli. She's mugged. Kemp able to hold the line here though, dances in. Nice centering pass to Brooks. Can't get the handle as it was coming into her skates. Now cleared down by the Huskies for an icing. Coster, as always, the agitator. They don't call her Buzzsaw for nothing. No wallflower there whatsoever. Smallest player on the team, but probably the biggest heart.
Little known fact, partner, I gave her that nickname 3 years ago.
And it's stuck. That's a sign of a good nickname, Curtis.
And I think it's evident right now that this Huskies team, they're a hard-working team. They're not moving the puck like we do, but they're a hard-working team, and they're gonna skate here for 60 minutes.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no quitting this home side for sure. They've had a few chances. We can't go to sleep on this team for sure. And here we go as they break in. Little bobble, good skating there by number 20 for the Huskies. Got a partial break, put a nice shot up high. Stick side on Maria, had to be sharp there. Controls the rebound, gets a stoppage. Yeah, this Huskies team certainly one of those where their record doesn't necessarily tell the whole story. They're winless, but playing against some tough competition and in most of their games. And that concludes the first period here in Fort McMurray, where we have a 3-0 lead for your very own Sherwood Park Monarchs. Looks like we're heading off for a flood here, folks, so we'll be back in about 15 minutes. Welcome back, folks, as your Sherwood Park Monarchs are just getting set to hit the ice for the start of this second period. Maria Witholt leading the charge, and here they come. Got a nice fresh sheet here. Zamboni driver's definitely a pro. Actually, I take that back. There is a massive streak that he missed right down the dead center, right in front of goaltender Maria. Spoke too soon. It's okay. We appreciate our rink attendance. Monarchs are going to be looking to build on the momentum they started here in the first period. Lots of shots on net. Lots of chances. Started to capitalize late in the first period with 2 late goals. But probably, if we're being honest, would have liked to have a few more up on the board prior to the end of the first here. We'll see if they can put a few more up here. Huskies again, working hard. Generated some chances last period off of the power play. Few turnovers in the neutral zone turned into some partial breakaways for them where Maria had to stand tall, making some big saves. So we'll see what the second period brings us as they stick tap their way in. Here we go. Scrambled draw. Picked out of the pile by Auger, who wheels wide, shoots. Big rebound in front. Still loose. And collected. That's been a bit of a theme with juicy rebounds sitting there in the slot. I'm sure Coach Hayes talked in the break about going hard to the net for those secondary scoring chances. They've certainly been there all game. Money Murphy cashing in on one of those earlier in the game. We'll see if we can get a few more of those rebound goals to go. Here, Remy Clark circles behind the net, tries to center, intercepted, chipped up off the wall and out. And that will be an icing against the Huskies. Tavaroli comes out for the draw again, running only 2 centers today, being down both Avery Braggett and Jenna Lungal. Those Adioge and Tavaroli will be doing the bulk of the work from the center position today. We've seen Remy Clark take a few draws as well. Lots of players with a lot of versatility here on the team, allowing Coach Hayes to mix and match as needed. Draw lost, put back up the wall to Kemp. Hurtubise, makes a bit of an error there. Led to a turnover in the neutral zone and a partial breakaway for the Huskies. Luckily, Maria Witholt standing tall, held her ground and made a big save. She's had to do that a couple times as Hurtubise skates off a little sheepishly to the bench after that mistake. Tavaroli wins the draw back to Elder. Elder skates it out up the ice to the blue line, but not out where it's pumped back in. Hayes now will try and pass it up the wall. Coster chips it out. Now she's got some daylight, but she's beat back by the defenseman for the Huskies, who turns and tries to put it up the wall, but it's stopped there by the waiting Hayes. They'll try around the other side now as Ocho Elder goes and dances in. Again, running 5D here. You'll see a lot of different line combinations on the back end here for the Monarchs as Coach Hayes mixes and matches. Hayes goes back, shoulder check, sees the forechecker coming, passes it up to Auger. Auger back to Ocho now. Ocho passes it back to the waiting Hayes, who will regroup. Passes it up the boards and out to the waiting Murphy. Unfortunately, she didn't get a touch on the right side of the red line, and it'll come back for an icing.
Got a little scrambly here in our own zone to start out.
Yep, a little bit of a wake-up call here to start the second. Again, we talked about it. This Fort McMurray team's not going to go away quietly, and they've capitalized on some errors here on the part of the Monarchs. Hallie Hurtubise passes it up to Brox. Brox looks to connect with Murphy, who just misses it, puts it down into the zone anyway, where it's collected and skated out by the Huskies, who put it down. Correa now goes back first to the puck, spins to the boards, passes it up the middle to Clark. Clark tries chipping, but it comes onto the stick of the waiting Husky player, who puts it in behind the net, and they go to work in the offensive zone. Clark, though, squeezes her man off on the wall, takes the puck back briefly, but it's deflected back in. Now Hurtubise will try. She's got to be quick here. An errant pass leads to a turnover here again, a little bit sloppy. Clark chips and chases now. Here comes Evans with a full head of steam. Will beat out the icing, pulls it back to her forehand, but can't get the shot off. Good hard-working shift here.
Great save by the Husky goalie on that net front.
Yeah, good reaction save there. Has made the big push out to the shot out front.
And we see a bit of scrambled play here. Loose on the puck, and it leads to a Monarchs penalty.
Yeah, it might have been a bit of false sense of security. The Monarchs managed to control the play for the majority of that first period and came out a little lackadaisical here. And they've been victimized a few times for a little bit of loose play in their own end. Kemp collects it off of the Tavaroli face-off win. Up to Cossey, who speeds ahead back to Tavaroli. They got a 2-on-1 developing here. Tavaroli pulls it inside, shoots. Pad save by the goaltender for the Huskies. Now Maddie Kemp's got it behind her own net. Looks to center out to Tavaroli. Comes and evades her, unfortunately, and the Monarchs will have to tag back up.
Great pressure on this PK by that forward pairing there, Cossey and Tavaroli.
Yeah, they've been working hard here to maintain that zone possession. Again, really thriving on the penalty kill are the Monarchs, managing to hold the zone and generate some offense despite being a man short. Coster working hard, draws a penalty here, still loose. Thought we might get a greasy one there, folks, as Coster is hauled down but gets back to her feet to put that puck on net.
And a little lull in the action there on the play-by-play, folks. Your play-by-play man here is getting incessant text messages from Facebook Marketplace trying to make $15.
Hey, you know, $15 is $15, Curtis. You know, in this economy, you can't turn down any money. Secondary income, that's what it's about. Correa puts it on net, just wide on the near post. Hurtubise with the hard pinch, gets past her. And as we are 4-on-4, that will be an icing. Coming back down in the Husky zone. We'll see what the Monarchs can do with this little bit of extra space for 4-on-4 hockey in the offensive zone. Clark in to take the draw here on this 4-on-4. Lost in her feet. Hurtubise puts it on net, just wide. Evans in on the forecheck, gets a stick on it. Correa backhands it towards the net. And the Huskies tender has seen enough and she'll cover it up. 24 seconds to go in the Monarchs penalty to Elder, where we'll have a abbreviated power play to follow. Correa puts it neatly back into the corner, comes behind the net to Evans. Correa with shows good hustle, getting over to keep that puck in. Nice play again to hold the line by Correa. Great hand-eye there. Up to the line to Hurtubise, but not out. She directs it. Weak shot on net from the point. Steered into the corner. Been a long stretch here by the Monarchs, able to change on the fly. Great work on that 4-on-4. Now a 5-on-4 as they go to work. Hurtubise passes it back down into the corner as they go to work on this power play. Brox collects behind her own net, passes up to the point to the waiting Kemp. Kemp dances down into the corner, centering pass to Tavaroli, just missed. Brox collects it on the clearing attempt, puts it back down behind the net. Tavaroli spins back towards the net, centering pass. Looks like she's drawn another penalty here. And we'll have 5-on-3 for 32 seconds.
And partner, some of the Monarchs' dads looking a little antsy over here. They're coincidentally waiting for a specialty order to come via Uber. So we'll see what turns up with that.
Yeah, that's a luxury we have here in Fort Mac. There was no Uber Eats in Kindersley, Saskatchewan on our last bus trip. So some of the parents taking full advantage and getting some adult treats. And
and it's a little cold here in Frank Lacroix Arena. And coincidentally enough, Frank Lacroix was the first Albertan to run moonshine back in the 20s in northern Alberta.
You don't say.
Yeah, I Googled it.
There you go. Great shot, top shelf there. I was just being regaled by the history lesson by my color man, Curtis Auger here. Meanwhile, Hattie was not taking a shift off and pumped one upstairs for her first of the hockey game as they make short work of that 5-on-3, capitalizing with a goal. We'll now have some 5-on-4 action as Tavaroli settles in for the draw. Won by the Huskies, however. Murphy goes in and collects. Beat to the puck by the defenseman of the Huskies, who puts it up the wall, but held in by Maddie Kemp, who slides it over, and nice goal there by Tavaroli. Great play to walk it off the wall by Maddie Kemp, using her slick skating as she was pulling her backwards crossovers. Finds Tavaroli in the slot for the one-timer, and she slides it home.
And that little play right there by Kemper was something we were working on in Lamont last night. So things are coming together on the power play.
Yep. Nice to see the execution there on the special teams. Really nice play there by the Monarchs.
And looking over at Kemper's dad here, he wanted to jump for joy, but in a 5-0 game in the second, he was holding himself back.
Yeah, nothing but class here from the Monarch side, especially Travis Kemp. They call him Classy Kemp for a reason. As Correa goes to work on the boards, comes out to Hurtubise, who looks across, passes it to Cossey on the far wing. Cossey muscles it up into the zone, up the wall. Now Auger joins in the party. Back and forth on the wall. Hurtubise working to hold the line. Still does. Puts it down into the corner where it goes off the referee. Cossey still trying her best to hold that line. Does so. Just cleared out where Hurtubise will go back to collect it. Spins to the wall. Dumps it in softly into the corner where Auger goes to pass to collect it. It's intercepted. Bounced around, now chipped into the neutral zone where Correa's in a battle. Loses her footing. Hurtubise in battling. Puck squirts out to the net. Redirected, and now we have a breakaway developing for Coster. Hustles on net, shoots far side. Great save by the goaltender to get across. Remy Clark fires on the rebound and puts it upstairs. We talked about those rebounds. Big rebound off of the far pad. They've talked.
I don't know if that one was planned, but the old Draisaitl far pad and that rebound is always open for the money.
Absolutely. Big rebound popped all the way out into the slot, right onto the tape of Remy Clark, and she makes no mistake rifling it upstairs. Monarchs continue to pour on the pressure here as Tavaroli directs one towards the net. Clark in on the forecheck as well. Puck squirts out on the far boards. Past Kemp, where Elder goes back in her own zone, briefly overskates it, but collects it back again. Penalty call coming up once again. Elder's drawn one here. Tough play there for the Huskies forechecker. Didn't intentionally try and trip her, just got her stick in the skates as she was reaching for that loose puck. Monarchs will go to work once again on the power play here with the Tavaroli line coming out. Kemp collects, passes it over to Elder. Elder puts it down into the corner where it's collected by Evans. Huskies manage to throw it down on the ice directly on Maria, but she stops it smartly with the pad, sets the table for Kemp, who comes, circles around, makes a nice pass up. Just missed by Tavaroli, but makes a nice recovery. Oh, a bit of a bobble here, but we now have possession as Tavaroli decides to skate in herself. Sidesteps the defenseman, shoots just high. The goalie caught a piece of that, sending it over the net, but a very dangerous chance there from Tavaroli. Now we got a one-on-one battle where that is a soft call on the part of the referee. Again, we've seen this all year long, unfortunately, where the strength of Correa just trying to muscle her player off the puck has caused a penalty call here, but that was soft.
A little soft there, partner. I'll play a bit of devil's advocate. I think if there was a little more puck reach with the stick, I think she would have been okay.
Yeah,
but not a lot of contact.
No, not at all there, but here comes Sophie Hayes winding it up, skates it out, passes it up to the Brox on the near wall. Centers to Auger. Auger fires it through the screen of the defenseman. Gets deflected to the far side to Hurtubise, who puts it down behind the net to Brox. Puts it out front for Auger, but can't connect. Auger with it again. Fires it up high. Goalie got a piece of it once again. It's become a bit of a shooting gallery here for the Monarchs, as the Huskies will clear it all the way out down the ice for an icing just to relieve the pressure, as the Monarchs had them hemmed in for quite a while here.
And the Huskies, here in their first year in the AFHL at U13, they're looking pretty good. Like, full effort, and I think they're going to have a lot of progress as the season goes on.
Absolutely. It looks like they got a number of first-year players here, just guessing by size too, which bodes well for them into next season as well. Those girls will come back with more experience, bit bigger, more mature, and ready to contribute. Bit of a tie-up there between Kemp and the forechecker for the Huskies. Puck squirts out around the net as the Monarchs circle up to protect the house. Maria Witholt standing tall. She has faced a bit of rubber here today, more than she faced against NCI last week in Leduc. Had to be sharp on a number of occasions. Nice face-off win here by I believe that was Murphy taking the draw. Up to Cossey, but she loses her footing. Bit of a scramble in the neutral zone. Murphy comes on, kicks it up to her stick. But back come the Huskies up the near wall. Cossey in on the forecheck. Stuffs the exit attempt from number 22 of the Huskies. A bit of a break here. Quick up pass from the Huskies, almost caught the Monarchs on a change. Unfortunately, it was put on net into the waiting glove of Maria Witholt.
Great little backtrack by Murphy on that play there. Missed, but I don't know if you caught the stick in the glove she got in the face, but she just walked right through it.
I did not see that. Good eye there, Curtis. Puck's directed in behind the Monarchs net, where Hurtubise goes, skates to collect it. Up the wall, but not out. Got a bit of a 2-on-1 developing. Husky player lost her footing, unable to get it across. Ooh. Yikes, that was a scary deflection right in front of her own goalie from Hurtubise, but here comes Tavaroli and fires it upstairs for her second of the game.
Great little setup off the half wall from Coster on that one.
Yeah, quick turnaround. We had a bit of a dicey moment in front of Maria where there was a close deflection off the stick of Hurtubise.
Let's go, Huskies!
Managed to handle it. Quick pass up the wall to Tavaroli, who broke in all alone and made no mistake firing it upstairs for a 7-0 lead. Remy Clark pulls it out of the pile off the draw, puts it back to Evans. Evans back to Clark. Back to Evans now. Tight angle, tries centering it, just missing Auger. Good communication between the D pairing there. Elder comes off over on the cover, passes it up now to Auger. Auger to Evans. She goes to work on the forecheck here on the near corner. Puck goes around the far side. Defense are changing, but Hayes is in there to hold the play. Auger's drawn another penalty. It's been hauled down a few times. And the pace of play for the Huskies seems to be catching up with them, taking a few more stick infractions for the faster skating Monarchs here tonight.
Yeah, the first team to the puck has possession, so the Monarchs know that, and they're the first ones there, and that's what's drawing a lot of these penalties.
Yeah, we'll see if they can continue that pace through the second part of the second period. Puck won cleanly back by Tavaroli, almost too cleanly as it splits the uprights of the defense, coming back into the Monarch zone. Bit of a breakdown here. Good recovery by Correa to keep her player to the outside. Tavaroli now up to Brox. Brox centers for Murphy, who brings it in 1-on-2. Uses her big frame to skate wide, passes it to the middle, but it's swatted away by the defense for the Huskies and cleared down the ice once again. Monarchs will go to set it up again here on this with 1:18 left to go on this power play. Brox dances in, stalls for a moment, takes a stick in the skates, but no call coming. Hurtubise there to hold the line. Fires it towards the net, just wide on the near side. Bit of a lull in the play there. Everybody was looking at who was going to make the first move. Hurtubise circles back, passes it across to Kemp. Kemp looks to bring it up through the middle. Nice pass up to Auger, who chips it into the corner. Rung around the boards, but intercepted by Auger. Looks to center out front to the waiting Cossey, but she can't connect. Coster now tries her hand. Great centering pass, but outstanding save by the Huskies goaltender, stretching out to take away what should have been a sure goal there. Cossey goes behind the opposing net, collects it, passes it off to Auger, who walks it out now. Good puck possession here and patience shown by the Monarchs as they continue to work on this power play. Puck comes back to Hurtubise, who shuffles it back down into the corner. Up to Kemp. Kemp fires it on net. Rebounds loose and score. They had 3 chances, and the third time was the charm as Cossey puts in that rebound goal for an 8-0 lead.
Yeah, really good puck patience on that power play. First to every loose puck there, and we maintained possession, got it low to high, and puck's in the back of the net.
Yeah, really showed a lot of composure there. Probably could have taken some shots earlier, but elected to just pass it down, keep cycling that puck, which again, we've been working on in practice. And again, pays dividends. Nice dance performance here for the folks at home by our linesman as he's liking what the DJ's offering up.
Now, unfortunately for our linesman, I think he immediately got in a little bit of caca from the head ref. You got to maintain professionalism here, partner.
We're trying to run a tight ship here. You know, we like to see a little bit of levity, but yeah, gotta keep it between the rails, as they say.
Little throwback to Jeremy Roenick with the LA Kings when he did the full dance-off during the TV timeout.
A memorable moment for sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure Ken the Big Deal Braggett used to do that in senior hockey.
Definitely known for his moves on and off the ice. Scramble draw. Evans collects, dumps it into the Huskies zone. Bounces off the back wall right back to the Huskies goaltender who'll cover up for a quick face-off. Tavaroli in to take the draw. Won by the Huskies, put up the wall to the waiting Hayes. Hayes slaps it down into the far corner where it's collected by Clark. Clark tries to center on the backhand to a sprawling Tavaroli. Can't connect. Evans gets away with an errant high stick there, but the ref didn't see it. Evans back to work on the forecheck, pestering the defense for the Huskies. Clark with the flyby. Nice screen, but good save by the part of the Huskies goaltender who's been big tonight. And here comes the Huskies with some speed through the neutral zone and across the blue line, taking Hayes wide. Eventually squeezed off up to the blue line. Slapper, big block by Hayes. She's all over the ice. Kick saved by Maria. Puck sits in the slot momentarily, but cleared away. Another slapper from the point, just wide. As the Huskies enjoy a bit of zone time here, directing several shots on net. Bit of a collision at the blue line, no call coming. Again, wraparound attempt now, foiled by Maria. Slapped once again down from the point. Again, taking their foot off the gas here a little bit have been the Monarchs, but now Tavaroli breaks it out. But it's cleared up the ice. Correa hesitates at the line smartly, allowing her teammates to come back on side. Now Tavaroli breaks it in. We got a penalty coming up. Looks like it's going to be Brock's, maybe. As the coaching staff for the Monarchs are wondering where the call was by the collision with Auger earlier on.
I didn't see what happened with the too many penalty, but Coach Soleil Lee looks like she's possibly the guilty party. The deer in the headlights look is still evident on the bench right now.
Yeah, well, having run the bench last year for the Fusion team. I know I was guilty of a few of those penalties myself. So this is a
Yeah, I've been saying it all year. Soleil and Madison wearing sleeping bags on the bench is causing brain fog.
It is chilly in some of those barns, you know. Here comes Cossey winding her way in, takes it out wide. Stick check by the Huskies, knocks it off, but she's still on the puck. Sends it in behind the net. Still dogging that puck. Back to Hurtubise. Hurtubise misses it on the attempt to put it down into the corner. It breaks out, but Correa's back there to help her out. Up to Cossey now, who looks to spin and take it up into the neutral zone. Auger tries breaking in. Now back to Hurtubise, who passes it up the wall to Cossey. Cossey's with a nice pass inside to Auger, who goes barring in. Real nice passing play by Cossey to Auger, and nothing the goaltender could do, as it was a perfectly placed shot off the bar and in.
You know what, partner? Sometimes we miss those 6-foot passes, but that was a great little touch by Cossey, and Auger wide open for that great scoring chance.
Great awareness, great touch to put it right into the perfect spot for Auger to skate onto it and put it home. Auger with the win now on the face-off to Evans. Evans dancing in, looks to pull it inside, but nice stick check by the defenseman for the Huskies. Hayes, though, in support, brings it behind the offensive zone net. Dances out front, tries centering it, but good stick there by the Huskies goaltender to keep it out of harm's way. Auger covering up the point. Oh, comes in a little bit of a love tap from behind, and we're going to get a call
and
here.
partner, I feel like that was a little bit of payback for that knee she took earlier.
She might have taken a number. We'll have some 5-on-3 action here for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, we hope. It's going to be a tough shift here on the part of the Monarchs, being down 2. Nice clear by Ocho Elder, sending it all the way down into the Huskies zone. Remy Clark goes in on the forecheck, disrupting it in the neutral zone. Correa dumps it back in. Now the Huskies will attempt to put it down deep. Correa has a look, goes back, gets a stick on it, but foiled by the forecheck briefly. Kemp's now released back out onto the ice and jumps right back into the fray. High shot, way over the net, but standing tall is Maria Witholt to collect it and get that stoppage in play. Some reinforcements coming out as Brox, Tavaroli, and Hurtubise come on the ice to help finish off the remaining 1 minute and 23 seconds on this penalty kill, rather. Tavaroli with a nice win. Hurtubise unable to clear it. Puck still loose. Puck comes through the slot, but no danger. Tavaroli off her knees, tries to clear it out, but held in by the defense for the Huskies. They put it to the far side and deflect a lazy shot on net. A little bit of a lull here in the footwork for the Monarchs on this extended penalty kill. Gonna have to get their feet moving as they're being hemmed in here by the hard-working Huskies. Nice shot from the point from Pike. Caught Maria up high on the glove side. Drops down in front of her momentarily, but covered. Bit of a lull there for the Monarchs. Luckily it didn't bite them. Hopefully they'll be able to pick up their effort level here and kill off the remaining 29 seconds. Whoa, 3-car pileup, all Huskies, unfortunately. Here comes Murphy, that long stick. Bit of a battle on the boards between Ocho and the Husky player. Get tied up. Puck comes out with 2 seconds, and that'll be it for the penalty. They've killed off that 5-on-3 as Ogier comes back to the ice. Cossey in on the forecheck now. Ogier gets a stick on it. Elder tries keeping it in, and now it's brought out up the wall. Kemp passes it up to the waiting Cossey, who's looking to center for Murphy. Elects to carry it in herself. Shot on net, steered aside by the Huskies goaltender, who's looked good here in the second period. Cossey centering again. Can't connect. There it is, though. Big save. Scramble play in front. And we got a bit of a pile up here. Cossey playing to the whistle as she always does.
Well, partner, Ogier's got one tonight, and she's been robbed about 4 times, too.
Yeah, that puck was sitting there on the doorstep, and they were whacking away, waiting to see if we'll see for penalties out of this. Cossey went in, took exception to the stick in the back.
And a little overzealous on the Husky player when Cossey was down on the ice, I'd say.
Cossey turned and gave her a bit of a stink mitt, but in turn got a stick to the back of the head while she was down on the ice. Wait to see what they decide here. Coach Hayes, calm as ever, down on ice level, getting some clarification on the call.
Looking a little bit like old-time WWF there, partner, with Jake the Snake Roberts and Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Well, the Cossey family are big wrestling fans, as it were, and maybe stealing some of those moves. Playing the part of the heel was Celia there.
And I have heard rumors of the ring that old Tom has set up in one of the barns out at the property there. Pure barbed wire for ropes is what the rumor is.
Well, they raise them tough out there, Curtis. They raise them tough. Extended debate here on what's happening in terms of penalty calls. Nobody's been taken to the box just yet. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first of 3 matchups between these teams, so some tensions rising, and we're only 2/3 of the way through game 1. Sets the table nicely for some drama in games 2 and 3 as the weekend continues. Looks like Cossey's been peeled off the bench. Real lengthy discussion here with the referees on the Friday night here. We got 0.9 seconds left to go in this second period.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't think it's rocket science. Maybe 2 and 2 for rough and the extra 2 for rough, and let's get on with the game here.
Yeah, we got nice clean hotel rooms and some cold beverages to get back to, so we could just wrap up this period. That would be spectacular. First player coming to the box is number 11 for the Huskies. Still not sure who, if anyone, will be serving a penalty for the Monarchs.
You'd almost think there was a line brawl at this point, but that wasn't the case.
No, a little bit of healthy exchanges and pleasant how do you do's, but nothing really that exciting to report about. But we still haven't sorted it out as they're back at the Huskies bench.
And any updates on your marketplace sale there, partner? What's going on with that?
Yeah, made $15 here in the second period, so enjoying that. If anybody's looking for some good used tools, by the way, out there in Monarchs hockey land, check out Tracy Hurtaby's Facebook page. He's got some great deals out there for you.
And I guess the best part of this $15 venture you've partaken in is beers at the hotel lobby bar are $7 each, so you can buy me two.
There you go. Monarchs math, ladies and gentlemen. Monarchs math.
And we're still in limbo here, and a hush has come over the crowd because everyone's fallen asleep.
That's right. It's not so much drama so much as boredom that has lulled us here. We got...
Yeah, and it looks like the Huskies are getting about 18 minutes in penalties here somehow.
Not sure what's going on exactly. Cossey is now in the box. Looks like the home side took the extra, which we had established about 20 minutes ago should have been the case.
And young Cossey's right below us. Can you get the camera on her?
There she is.
So upon skating into the box, the only thing I heard her say was, "That was for my dad."
Proud Cossey moment. No stranger to being in the penalty box himself. And after what was a rather anticlimactic finish here, we'll have another flood as the players will slowly make their way off the ice. We'll be back in 15 minutes for the third period of this Monarchs hockey game. Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we're set to kick off the third period here. Your Monarchs up 9-0 against the Wood Buffalo Huskies. We did get some clarification in between the periods on what all the fuss was about. Eagle Eyes Auger, my main man up here in the booth, had caught it and I had missed it, but in that scrum there was actually a bit of a double knee drop delivered by the Huskies player while Celia Cossey was down on the ice, and that was what caused the delay, as the young referee and linesmen were not sure, as they had not witnessed a play like that before and struggled with coming up with what was the appropriate call. But as it sits, we have a 5-minute major on the board and coincidental twos for roughing. Still waiting to see what exactly they did make as a call, whether it was intent to injure or hit to the head. But that was what the conversation and debate was all about. So kudos to the young refs here to take the time to get the call right.
And the Huskies now, they're definitely over 100 minutes in PIMS, so they're catching up to us. And I think the girls here in the third just got to keep their head on a swivel and keep their feet moving.
Absolutely, yeah. Like we said, this is the first of 3 games. We want to just play some good hard hockey, finish this one out, get it in the books, and everybody lives to play another day. Auger between Clark and Coster. Puck one back and sent immediately down the ice to start this penalty kill for the Huskies. Kemp skates it up. Cut off by the Husky player. Now she tries to skate it out up the middle. Held in by the Husky defenseman. Now Elder will center for Clark. Comes out to Coster, who brings it up the near boards. Auger comes back, collects. She's got some time and space. Takes it wide, shoots on net. Had traffic in front with Coster waiting on the doorstep, but deflected wide. Auger again, pass it back behind the net. Again, good patience and composure shown here by the Monarchs on this 5-minute power play. Coster looks to center out front to the waiting Clark, but can't connect. Back to the line, but not out, as Hayes keeps it in. Slides it across to Auger, who winds and fires. Blocker save high and wide. Correa holds the line, decides to walk in. Backhands it in the direction of the front of the net. Comes out front to Brox. Brox shoots. Big save by the Huskies goaltender. Correa keeps it in once again. Fired on net, but blocked up high in the slot. Auger now will try again. Hauled down, but no call coming. Again, extended zone time here on this power play for the Monarchs, with the Huskies unable to clear. Puck bounces through the legs of Hayes, but collected by Correa out to the red line. Almost caught on a too many there once again, but nobody touched it. No harm, no foul, as Tavaroli brings it in. Off the shin pads of Murphy. Bit of a delayed offside. Here we go as they tag up, and Kemp brings it in, dances wide. Nice centering pass to Murphy. Big save once again on the doorstep by the Huskies goaltender, who's been very busy here. Hurtubise holds the line, tries to slap it on net, but it's blocked and sent down the ice directly onto the waiting Maria Witholt.
Great start to the third here by the Huskies goaltender. I think the Monarchs just got to concentrate on moving the puck around here in a 9-0 game.
Ooh. Brock's clipped up high, and they are going to call that. This will be a 5-on-3. 5-on-3 for 2 minutes or less, with the Huskies still serving that 5-minute major. Refs doing their best to stay on top of a bit of a runaway game here, not letting much go. Probably wise, especially with these teams seeing each other 2 more times in the next 2 days. Auger in to take the draw. Clark peels it out of the pile, takes it across, fired on net, but just deflected wide. Evans tries centering. Defenseman for the Huskies blows a tire, comes back to Evans, just fires high and wide. Remy Clark keeps it in on the point. Auger now peels it off the wall, breaks in with speed. Again, standing tall is the Husky goaltender. Not sure what the shot total is here, Curtis, but she has faced a lot of rubber and has done an admirable job keeping the Monarchs to only 9 goals.
Well, and we haven't really learned, don't shoot at her glove.
Yeah, that seems to be a strength of her for sure, although she's been making a lot of saves down low with the pads as well. She's been tough to beat. Tavaroli now in. Wins it cleanly back to Hayes, who walks the middle, puts it on net. Tavaroli tries to shovel in the rebound, but can't get there in time. Coster now will try her hand. Deflected out front. Tavaroli, strong play to muscle her player off the puck. Back to Ocho Elder, who directs it on net, steered into the corner. Cossey cycles around. Cossey playing forward again, just out over the line.
And a little confusion on the ref there in the corner. 2 of the Huskies players blew each other up, and I think he was about to call a penalty, but he had to look twice and figure out what was happening.
Good for him for recognizing that it was friendly fire and no penalty required. Tavaroli wins the draw back to Hurtubise. Hurtubise backhands it over to the waiting Correa, who looks up, finds Coster. Checked back out briefly. Back to Tavaroli. It's a 2-on-1 here. Defense were backpedaling, looking at the bench for the person coming off on the change. Tavaroli now behind her own net, or behind the offensive net, rather. Passes it back to Correa, who puts it in, but can't connect, and now it is sent down the ice to Hurtubise, who slides it across. Up to Auger, using Murphy as a bit of a screen on the entry there. Bit of sloppy play here to start the third. Now Caitlin collects it out of the corner, passes it out front, but can't connect. And it's cleared down the ice. Withhold out to play it, just misses it on a bounce off the dasher. Hurtubise comes out, loses it. Kemp now passes it up, and we have the music firing up. Oh, double takedown for the Huskies there. Now Brox comes in with a full head of steam, takes it wide, spins back to the point. Nobody there, as there's a Husky player gingerly making her way back to the bench after colliding with her teammate. Ocho Elder tries to hold the line, but it comes out briefly, forcing the Monarchs to tag up. Slapped over to the near wall and fired down the ice. That will be an icing, however, as the penalty had expired. As both teams will regroup for this face-off down in the Husky zone.
Extended power play there. I think we got to try and not focus on being goal hungry, and like I said, move that puck around, right? This is the time.
Yeah, good opportunity in these what's a bit of a lopsided game to work on some of those systems that they've been working on. As Tavaroli's furiously digging away at the side of the net before the whistle comes. As they look to reset here, Kemp and Elder on the blue line. Tavaroli wins it back, good tie up, but the Huskies winger was first to the puck and she will clear it down the ice for yet another icing. There's been quite a few of those today as the Monarchs have put the pressure on the defense of the Huskies and they've been forced to send it down the ice for icing a number of times today. Tavaroli discusses with Evans what the setup will be here. Pushes it into the corner where it's collected by the Huskies defenseman. Makes a neat stop up, turns back and passes it up the wall. Big play by Elder to separate her player from the puck. Puck comes down behind the net of the Monarchs where Elder goes to collect it. Bit of a collision in the corner. Now it's brought up by Evans, who comes 1-on-3, takes it wide, got some open ice, didn't have anybody on the doorstep on the centering pass, unfortunately. Odd bounce off the wall, doesn't come out past half as Auger collects it, sends it back down into the zone. Hayes attempts to center. Coster now on it on the far side. Sends it in behind the net. Auger pulls it around as she's squeezed off the puck. Hayes in to support on the low pinch. Cossey back up high, covering the point. Finally, it's pulled out by Auger to Coster. Coster still on the puck behind the net, looks to center as she's holding off the Husky player on her back. Does center now. Correa sneaking in, but it is swatted to the boards by the Husky defenseman. Good cycle here shaping up for the Monarchs as they have the Huskies hemmed in now for the better part of this shift. Correa battling against the smaller forward for the Huskies, showing a lot of grit there. Hayes passes it up to Cossey, comes off her stick, but collected by Hayes once again, dances into the zone. Pushed off the puck briefly, but manages it to directs it to the net, where it's...
The board battles are definitely getting a little heavier here in the third.
Yeah, we've seen a bit of physical contact, and right on cue, we have a penalty call here on the part of Hayes. I believe that'll be 2 for interference.
Yeah, good call by the ref there. A little pinch away from the puck and slow the play down.
Trying to buy her teammate a little bit of time there, but got busted. Another face-off win for Tavaroli. Goes to Hurtubise behind the net. Nice stop up, turns back, gains a little bit of time, dances out of the way of the forecheck. Gets it up to half. Now Tavaroli comes in. We got a 2-on-1 developing on this short-handed play. Oh, defense steps up just in time to break up what was looking like a dangerous rush there for the Monarchs. Defense for the Husky winds it up behind her own net. Taken off her by the Tavaroli. Now back to Brox, who puts it back down and heads off for a change. Number 7 for the Huskies comes in with speed. Squares up and fires it just wide of the net. Centered where Murphy collects it. Now they'll break out. She's got offense on her mind as she takes it wide. Oh, just rolls off the back of her stick. Nice pass to find Hurtubise out in the slot, but a better save. Hurtubise had snuck in there thinking offense as well, but couldn't pot that one. Rolls off her stick now, and here's a breakaway for the Huskies. Big save by Witholt. back and forth action here on this power play for the Huskies. Saw a number of offensive chances shorthanded for the Monarchs, and then a turn of events and a breakaway the other way. But again, Maria Withold hasn't been tested often, but when she has been, she's been up to the task.
Yeah, not a lot of action for the Monarchs goaltender, but 2 breakaways for sure, maybe 3, and she's stood tall on all of them.
And here's Caitlin Money Murphy again, streaking up, pulls it inside, goes bar and in. Great individual effort there, shorthanded, brings it up the far wall, pulls it from outside to inside and goes bar and in for a 10-0 lead. Remy Clark in, wins the draw. Back to Correa. She's in a battle, shoves her player off. And will receive 2 minutes for body contact. Again, pretty tough call there. It's a 50-50 puck. She leaned in a bit. And again, I think just the victim of being 2 minutes for being stronger than your opponent, unfortunately. Pretty soft call there, but she's been unfortunately receiving those all year just for a good, hard defensive play. This will now put us on a 5-on-3. We'll see if the Huskies can generate something here. Clark out to the point. Hurtubise collects behind the net. Actually, it's Kemp now. Puck comes out, jam play out front. Oh, big rebound out front. And now Clark comes out, smartly clears it down, follows up her own play. Hurtubise puts it all the way down the ice, just behind the net. Puck comes out to the Monarchs blue line where Kemp spins back and puts it back down into the neutral zone. Puck comes now to the far side, slapped in where Hurtubise will go down to collect it. Stops up, has a look, passes it up to Clark. Misses her, but makes it all the way down the ice for the clear, allowing for a wholesale change on the part of the Monarchs. Nice penalty kill here again on this 5-on-3. Evans now squeezing out her player on the wall. With Hayes returning to the ice now, making it a 5-on-4. Puck squirted out into the slot, slapped on net, but again, Withold standing tall once again, answering the call and making the big save. Tavaroli in for the face-off, pulls it back into her skates where Hayes picks it up and wraps it around the boards to the blue line and not out. Elder now off the block from Tavaroli. Now we got 2-on-1 developing, just kicked off the skate, can't connect there with Evans. Directed down towards the net, and the Huskies goaltender will take no chances and freeze it for another face-off. 29 seconds left in the penalty to Correa for body contact. Coster taking a rare draw, normally a winger. Ocho comes back to collect, looking to evade the forecheck here. Passes it up, but not out. High shot. Oh, just got enough of it off the bar and luckily out. Bit of a flutter puck there.
That one may have went post crossbar down, but not in.
Yeah, doesn't get much closer than that as Correa steps back out onto the ice. Oh, we got an injured player down on the ice. Not sure what happened here. Cossey passes it up. Correa to Coster. And play is blown dead as we have a Husky player in some distress down in the Monarch zone. Hopefully she's okay.
I didn't see it, partner. It looked like a inadvertent collision, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like she might have been a bit winded there. Luckily, she's back on her feet and getting off on her own steam as she makes her way to the bench. Happy to see that for her. We have just under 8 minutes to go here in the third period, where your Monarchs lead against the Wood Buffalo Huskies by a score of 10-0. Again, Huskies continue to battle, just ringing one just off the glove, off the bar, and out. Admirable job they're doing here against your Monarchs. Could have been a lot more goals scored here were it not for the excellent play of the Huskies goaltender, who stood tall all night long. Auger in to take the draw, scrambled back into the corner. Murphy on the forecheck. Now to Brox. Puck slapped out. Held in by Auger on the line. To Murphy, who dances in again. Can't get a shot away as it rolls off her stick. Now Brox behind the net. Loses her footing. Nice stick by Kemp to keep it in. Two big saves, still loose. Hurtubise slaps it wide of the net. Again, another demonstration of that great play by the Fort McMurray goaltender, keeping her team in it as best she can. Puck one back to Correa, puts it down into the corner for Evans, who's pushed off the puck. Clark now goes to work. Looks like we got a penalty call against the Huskies for a late contact.
Yeah, I saw the play there, partner. It was a penalty. I probably would have let that one go, but
Yeah,
Monarchs back on the power play.
10-0 game. Yeah, probably would have let it go. But again, in the larger context of 2 more games between these teams, probably want to just keep things regulated and controlled. So yeah, I can
It's
understand
nice
it.
to see you with that liberal opinion there, partner. Thanks.
Shot up top by Tavaroli. Quick whistle from the referee as it just squirted out. Tavaroli was waiting to collect her own rebound, but whistle had blown. Puck one back to Hayes. Hayes to Clark. Clark to Tavaroli now. Turns, shoots, but it's blocked. Cleared out. Off Correa's stick. Clark hustling back with Correa. Circles. Nice quick up pass to Tavaroli, who tries to dance to the inside. She's taken off the puck by the defense of the Huskies. Hayes now coming in low into the zone, trying to generate some offense from the back end as Cossey works out of the far corner. Ocho doing a nice job keeping that puck in. Puts it softly on net where it's deflected on the way in, but steered to the corner. Auger to Kemp on the wall, who walks it down high to low. Auger shoots, but a big block by the defense of the Huskies, who now clear it all the way down the ice. Kemp back to collect it. Up to Cossey. Gets it to the red line. Up to Auger now. Coster will try and bring it in the far side. Tries to center, but it goes through and down the ice once again. Withold out to play it. Sets it up. Oh, dangerously in front of her own net. As they bang away, but luckily Bit of a miscue there where it got caught in the skates of Without as she went out to play it. Scary moment briefly, but no harm, no foul once again. Coaching staff on the part of the Monarchs have really been encouraging their goalies to play the puck more often. It's something the girls are getting used to, and that's going to come with a few little bit of dicey moments there, but once again, no harm, no foul.
Go get it!
Puck goes into the corner where it's collected by Hurtubise. Looks to set things up on the breakout, skates up the near wall. Stick checked, has to circle back once again. Patiently goes D to D, now up to Caitlin Money Murphy with a nice stretch pass to Brox, gets a stick on it, but no more. Puck comes behind the Huskies net. Nice work on the forecheck by Murphy. Murphy looks to center to Tavaroli. Tavaroli with the backhand. Comes out to Murphy, who shovels it on net just wide. Back centered for Tavaroli with the one-timer. Big save by the Huskies goaltender. And the puck goes down the ice. We got a foot race here, Maria. Nicely evading the forecheck, puts it behind her own net. Nice play. Again, that nice work that we've talked about just moments ago with our goalies looking to play the puck a little bit more. Nice example of that by Without. Puck's now in the neutral zone where Hayes turns up the wall, tries to put it in. Stopped briefly, but she keeps trucking through, gaining the zone. Puck off the goalie, rolls dangerously for a moment now. Potential breakaway here developing for the Huskies. Good back check by Hayes, though, to get a stick on that play, helping her goaltender out. Now Evans comes in, shoots up high and over the net. That wicked curve on Evans' stick really allows her to elevate the puck in a hurry, and we saw an example of that there.
That would have been a, is it a try in rugby when they kick it through the...
No, that would not be a try. Try would be the equivalent of a touchdown. So that would be a, you know what, I don't know the term off the top of my head. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Or maybe the equivalent of a triple ender in curling?
Perhaps.
Yes.
Perhaps. There
Yeah,
you
we'll
go.
call it
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Clark shovels it into the Huskies zone. Auger now takes a shove in the back, but gets it back to Hayes. Dancing into her own zone. Up to Coster, who chips it in. Nearly intercepted by Cossey, who would have had a clean break in on the goaltender. Kemp now, nice touch pass, intercepted unfortunately, as Coster tried to break it out to Tavaroli. Good hustle though to disrupt the play. Now Cossey turns it back up the near side. She's got some time and space. Both teams looking a little tired in the late stages of this third period. Bit of a breakdown here on the change. Defense is caught flat-footed. Fort McMurray working hard here, trying to generate something late in the game. Cossey up the wall.
Great hustle by little number 5 there from the Huskies. That girl's got some wheels.
Yeah, she was really flying there, not showing any quit. Puck squirts out into the crease where it's covered by Without once again. Yeah, we've been saying it all game. These, despite the score, these kudos to the Huskies who continue to work hard, trying to capitalize on their chances.
Well, folks, we're almost coming to a conclusion here. Glad the game's almost over. I thought we lost the feed when I got a text from my father-in-law saying, "Where did you go?" But apparently it was the issue on his end. And I'm assuming at this point at 10:02 he's fallen asleep anyways. So
Here's a 2-on-1 developing. Nice stick by Hurtubise to break up that 2-on-1. Now Brox dances into the zone, firing from the outside. And again, that glove staying steady, keeping the puck out. Correa tries her chance at the net, goes wide. Brox cycles it back down into the zone. Penalty upcoming. Body contact, sticks are flying. A little bit of pushing and shoving here with just 1 minute and 18 seconds to go.
yeah, at the whistle, Auger took a two-hander right to the head and gave her opponent a stare down. I don't think we're getting a call on that one though.
Yeah, I heard the clack of the stick hitting the helmet there. Where we will have one last power play here for the Monarchs with just over 1 minute to play. With number 21 serving 2 minutes or less, we'll see what the Monarchs can do with this opportunity. Home crowd still very much behind their team. Puck comes back to Correa. Correa over to Hayes, finds some open ice, puts it down low. Tavaroli with it now, in behind the net. Comes out to Evans in the slot, but big save again. The top of her crease was the goaltender for the Huskies. Unable to stop that bullet from Evans, though, in the slot. Patience showed by Correa, eyeing up her options, finding Evans in the bumper position, who turns and fires, making no mistake, low glove.
And lo and behold, a hard low shot goes right in the corner.
Yeah.
We don't have to shoot it 8 feet high here, which is what we've done a lot this year.
Yeah, nice finish there by Evans in the slot. Coster in on the forecheck now. 5-on-5, 45 seconds left to go in this hockey game. Coster rubs her player off. A little bit of pushing and shoving going on, but no call coming. Coster loses her footing. Got her bit of a dusting from the stick of the Husky player while she was down on the ground there. Cossey now battling in the corner. Comes up to Hayes. Directed towards the net, but a save made. Puck slides back out and in. Hayes collected. Again, things are remaining heated here. Cossey in the fray once more. But before the excitement started, we had a beautiful shot by Hayes going barring in. Cossey with her second trip to the no-no bin.
Yeah, 2 more coincidental penalties just to tack onto the game sheet here.
Yeah, we're keeping the scorekeepers busy. It'll be a long rap sheet tonight for sure. Not sure if they're getting paid by the penalty out here, but if they were, this referee squad would be making a mint tonight.
Nothing wrong with this game though, partner, besides the one major there. It's just been hard hockey plays.
Yep.
Some trips, nothing egregious.
No, pretty pedestrian stuff for the most part. Absolutely. "13 seconds left to go here. All smiles on the part of both sides. Tavaroli looks to get it in deep and just run out the clock here. One more chance, maybe, as she fires it into the waiting glove of the Fort McMurray goaltender. Once again, standing tall, making another save, padding those save percentage points for herself. Minute 4 left to go. This should be it for us. And that's the ball game, folks. Your Monarchs winning in a lopsided affair, 12-0 here for game one of the 3-game series against the Wood Buffalo Huskies. Thanks for tuning in.
Back in action tomorrow, 3:45.
That is correct, Curtis. We will be broadcasting live once again. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, Monarchs Nation, for round 2 of this 3-game series. Enjoy your evening, and we'll just run out the time here with the handshakes.
That's another edition of Monarchs Hockey.